Welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite breakfast talk show, Princess of Arize, where we put the spotlight on people and organizations who want to arise and make a difference as agents of positive change. I am Princess Deun, Adedoyin-Solarin, your executive producer and host of the show. How's your week been? Hope you had a fantastic week and ready to have a restful weekend. Today we have a fantastic woman on the show with us. She has climbed the ladder of her profession and she's reached the very top, still climbing, but this is one woman who is on top of her game. I love to describe her as beauty and brains. She is at the moment the Group Chief Executive of UBA Capital PLC, and she's come all the way from Nigeria to spend about an hour with us on the show. So we're going to get to know her, her background, how she ended up in banking, and a variety of other things. Our theme for the show today is something that is very close to my heart, and I've had a chat with our guest about it, and it's also something that she really would like to talk about. How can people access finance in emerging markets? Is it something that's possible? Is it something that is easy? Is it something that you can even dream of? She'll be able to give us more light on how we can do that. People who are thinking of going back home to settle or going back home to do some business. Before we bring her on, we're going to give ourselves a little break. So sit back, relax, as we bring you this beautiful music video. Don't go away. See you shortly.
Hey, na, na, de, de, de. That was the beginning. Mama had me, she was definitely smiling. Finally a boy, she was very, very happy. She prayed for this with the love of her life. She called me grace, she called me blessing. She looked into my eyes, called me love of her life. I wish I could go back and feel what she felt, but she go down on her knees and tell God what she felt. Joy, nothing but joy. Every other day she feels nothing but joy. Showers of blessing, God bless her plenty. Thank God for blessing, love of my life. Joy, nothing but joy. Every other day she feels nothing but joy. Pray God bless me, bless your family, bless my mommy. When I was a little boy, mama told me, my boy, chase your dreams, say, and keep believing, and your peak will be your beginning. When I was a little boy, mama told me, love will set you free. Say, boy, please believe it, cause this love is for real. When I was a little boy, mama told me, my boy, chase your dreams and keep believing, cause this love is for real. When I was a little boy, mama told me, love will set you free. My boy, please believe it. Say, this love is for real. Yeah, yeah. One time for my people with sabi, where they play with the music, where they dance as Otto. I say two time for the people with sabi, where they play my music, where they support me. I say three times for the people with sabi, where they buy my CD, where they come my shows. I say four times for the people with sabi, where they support Arize, where they play for me. I say joy, nothing but joy. Every other day you feel nothing but joy. I pray God bless you, bless your family. Wish you what you wish me. God bless my people. Joy, nothing but joy. Every other day you see nothing but joy. I pray God bless you, bless your family. Wish you what you wish me. Say, no woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Say, no woman, no cry. See, no woman, no cry. I remember when we used to play. You know, Jewel by in Sule.
Welcome back, and hope you enjoyed that music video. It's the Prince of Arize, and today, as I said earlier, our guest is Mrs. Adedoyin-Solarin. She is the Group Chief Executive Officer of one of the topmost banks in Nigeria, UBA Capital PLC. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Princess.
I'm so happy that you're able to give us a little bit of your very busy schedule to spend time with us on the Prince of Arize.
I'm privileged to be with you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The first thing I want to ask is, who is Adedoyin-Solarin? Let's have a bit about your background, your family, your education, your professional trainings, and how you rode to where you are seated today as Group CEO.
Okay. I come from a large family. My parents had 7 children, and I studied law. So educationally, I have a master's degree in law, and then I also went on to qualify both as a chartered stockbroker and a chartered secretary and administrator. I think the background in law gives an excellent platform to understand the world of business and finance, because I believe all financial transactions ultimately derive from the law of contracts. So I think that gives me an excellent background. From a family perspective, my parents were disciplinarians.
Oh, wow.
Precisely, my mother, who was a very strict disciplinarian, and a businesswoman, a very astute businesswoman. And I think that also helped to teach me discipline and to give me an early appreciation of financial matters. My father, who was an accountant, and a very brilliant accountant, and so that also helped to give me an understanding of numbers. On the whole, the discipline that I was exposed to from childhood, plus the educational knowledge that I gained from studying law in the universities of Lagos and Ife for my first degree, and Lagos for my master's degree.
2 of the best, as they say.
Yes, I'm completely homegrown. So I feel very proud that I schooled in Nigeria, both at the first degree level and the second degree level. And so I think all that together contributed to making me the person I am today.
And if I may say so myself, because there was a conference that you came to do in the UK that I had the privilege to also be one of the participants, and I just thought, what a savvy woman that is. So congratulations on your achievements, and may you continue to celebrate many more achievements ahead.
Thank you.
So now to business. Tell us a bit about UBA Capital itself. Okay. When you hear the word UBA Capital, a bank doesn't come into your mind.
Okay, UBA Capital is an integrated financial services group, and investment banking is one of our lines of business, but we do go beyond investment banking to the entire world of capital and finance. So our business lines cut across investment banking, asset management, trusts and custody, and securities trading, which is stockbroking. We like to think of ourselves as an institution that help to create wealth and to preserve wealth over time. And we serve clients both on the buy side and on the sell side. So if you've got an investment idea, you got a project that you're looking to raise capital for, we're able to advise you, we're able to support you with research, we're able to help you, give you financial advice on how best to package that project to be able to attract the kind of funding that you require. We're able to advise you on alternative sources of funding for your business project. And we're able to help you to present your project in the manner that will be most attractive to potential investors. Now, if you are an investor with surplus funds looking for outlets where you can invest your funds and get attractive returns, we are also available. That's why I said we're both on the sell side and on the buy side. So we're also able to introduce you to alternative investment ideas and to properly appraise them for you and guide you into those investment opportunities. We like to say that we are experts in African investment opportunities and also in the world of finance and capital.
That's a great things to say about one's, organization.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for explaining that to us. Now, my next question is going to be: what are the primary business lines, that you offer?
Okay. All right. Let me start with investment banking. And investment banking is one of our key business lines. And this relates to advising clients on investment projects, assisting clients to raise capital for their projects. This cuts across what we call pure project finance type transactions, which are like infrastructure transactions, for example, in power, in oil and gas, to road projects for governments, because our clients cut across government entities, both sovereign and sub-sovereigns, like state governments, for example, businesses, and also families and individuals. So with respect to our investment banking services, like I said, we offer capital raising, we offer financial advice. We can take you to the capital market for long-term debt or equity capital raising. Then we move to asset management, which is our second business line. Asset management relates to helping you to create wealth over time. So we give advice both to individuals, to groups, and also to companies on alternative investments that they can embark upon with their surplus funds to build wealth over time. Then we have securities trading, which is stockbroking. And powered by the advice that we would give on the asset management and wealth management side of our businesses, we can help you to actually execute your trades on the African markets. And finally, we have trust and custody. And what we do on the trust and custody side is to help you over time to make effective estate plans for you, long-term disposition plans for your assets, to provide for your children, for example, your children's education, to provide a nest egg for your period, post-retirement period, to plan for your long-term personal investment objectives. All these we do on the trusts side of our business. And of course, I said trust and custody. Custody of investments means that we help you to hold your assets over time, to report independently on those assets that are being held. For example, you could have been instructing somebody else to manage the assets. On the trust side, we will be reporting on the activities of your manager. We will be keeping the assets independently of your manager, so your manager cannot abuse those assets or use them for any other purpose other than the purpose that you had in mind. And so that's how we support our other businesses through custody. What we want to do essentially is that wherever you are in the entire financing and investment cycle, we're there to support you. So all the way from research to deciding on what you want to invest on, to executing your investment decisions through stockbroking, to actually holding your investment assets for you and protecting and preserving them over time, to helping you as an individual to plan for your children's long-term education, to plan for post-retirement, to plan for how you dispose your assets amongst your beneficiaries in the unprayed for event of death. All through that entire cycle, we're there with you. And remember also, with your investment projects, we're also there to give you financial advice and help with capital raising.
So to me, that comes across as, because when you're explaining each step and all the various areas, in my mind I was thinking this is like a one-stop shop.
Absolutely, that's exactly what we are.
In other words, we just knock the door of UBA.
Absolutely, UBA Capital. Absolutely.
Various other doors then open.
Absolutely, that's it. We're Africa's leading integrated
so I have read,
financial services group. Yes.
And that takes me to the next question, because when, like our viewers now, and even myself, that I live in the diaspora, and you heard those kind of things, they're music to one's ears. So the next thing would be, okay, what does this organization have to offer people like us in the diaspora? Okay. And that'll be my next question.
All right. First of all, we offer you a safe and very knowledgeable expert gateway to African investment opportunities. We believe that there is nothing like knowledge to distinguish you, between you and the next man. So where you don't have this knowledge yourself, you need to look for those who have it. We know Africa, and we know the realm of investment and finance. And what we're doing is guiding our clients through this gateway.
Based on your local knowledge.
Absolutely, based on our local knowledge and based on our subject expertise. And what we believe is that there are amazing investment opportunities in Africa that are unparalleled.
And maybe untapped.
And untapped. First of all, in Nigeria, for example, we have Africa's largest economy. The rebased value of Nigeria's GDP is 510 million US dollars, which is now the largest in Africa. It's larger, for example, than the GDP of Dubai. We also have a massive population. Yes, we have a massive population, and this population is unique because we've got more than 70% of this population are under 30. So the demographics are in our favor. We've got a massive consumer market. A company like MTN, for example, came into Nigeria.
Communication.
Yes. They came into Nigeria and they discovered within a couple of years that they were making higher revenues out of Nigeria alone than out of the entire business operation in the whole of Africa, because it's simply a game of numbers. We are talking about an economy that has consistently provided a return, a GDP growth rate that is higher than the world average on a consistent basis in the last 5 to 7 years. We're talking about an economy that also gives superlative returns above market average. So what we're saying is that Nigerians and other Africans in diaspora, it is time for you to begin to look back home. There are massive opportunities in agriculture. There are huge opportunities in telecommunications. There are huge opportunities in oil and gas. There are huge opportunities in power. Last year, for example, we had the power privatization of the power industry. We were privileged to advise and raise capital for about 50% of the new power generation companies. Now, like I said, we operate on both the buy side and the sell side. We are in a unique position to know the investment opportunities because we're advising and we're working for clients, and we're able to, these opportunities are very visible to us. And of course, this is with full transparency and disclosure. We're able to also have a pipeline of investment opportunities that our wealth management business can also offer to clients who are potential, investors. So those are some of the opportunities that are, yes, for people in the diaspora.
This particular question now just came to me now as you were speaking, because I was sort of listening to you and following, the trend of information that you were given. I heard the word very strong economy, probably the strongest in Africa. I heard
largest,
the word largest. I heard the words of about the numbers that we have, which is in excess of 160 million. But then you then hear the words that like transparency, trust. So for people who are coming from the diaspora, that is one of the issues that we grapple with.
Absolutely.
Whereby, why is it that we have Nigeria in such a beautiful light? The GDP is high, things are growing, the economy is rolling, and you can all see the potential in the marketplace. But then on the other hand, there's so many people who've gone to Nigeria and been bitten badly, and not because they were stupid, but just because somebody was maybe smarter than them, and that in its own sense gives people a huge fear. That fear of the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen to you if you end up in this marketplace. You are homegrown, as you told us. You were schooled in Nigeria. You did your first degree, your second degree in Nigeria. Your career has risen in Nigeria. You live in Nigeria, married with children, and you're now also on top of your game in a particular financial organization. Now, for somebody who is watching now and who are looking at going to Nigeria but keep coming back or keep pulling back because they're thinking this cannot be possible because of all the other news that we hear, what would you say? You know, now take the cap of, you know, group CEO and just speak as a woman or a person who is Nigerian, living in Nigeria, but also wants to share, you know, the positives of what can be done, what can be achieved in Nigeria to people in the diaspora that are watching.
I will start by saying that Nigeria is a very attractive investment destination, and not just Nigerians in diaspora, but a lot of people from all over the world. I mean, every time you get on a flight to Nigeria, they're jam-packed with foreigners who are going there to see. We had the WEF, that is the World Economic Forum for Africa, in Abuja, in the thick of the security concerns that we had. And we had over 1,000, you know, participants from across the world. I was at the forum and they were excited and they participated actively and they weren't going nowhere.
And we're told it was the biggest one after Davos.
Absolutely. So it's therefore very short-sighted, to say the least, for an African in diaspora to say, oh, I'm afraid to go there. The rest of the world is going there. And you are a little better equipped than them because you are African and Nigerian. Now, beyond that is, I will say that you do need, as it were, to work with reputable institutions, advisors. Now, UBA Capital, not only is it an offshoot of United Bank for Africa, which is a major and a known and trusted name in Africa, which now has branches in 18 African countries. Wow. Beyond that is that the component businesses within UBA Capital have become known and trusted names and have been carrying out their businesses in trusts, asset management, for some for as long as 5 decades. Beyond that is the fact that UBA Capital, as we speak, is the first and the only Nigerian investment banking entity that has listed, that is quoted on the Nigeria Stock Exchange. Now, when you go through the process of getting publicly listed, which has significant disclosure and transparency requirements, you are saying that you are ready to go the extra mile to give clients and investors the assurance and the confidence that they're dealing with a strong and a trustworthy institution. So if you take all that together, I will then say that you can feel safe to navigate the waters of Nigeria, West Africa, and indeed the whole of Africa, you know, through the gateway that we offer and through the component businesses and through the amazing professionals that we have. I will also say that we've got a cluster of very bright individuals working with us. We think knowledge is key and is critical, so we go to all lengths to attract and retain the most knowledgeable professionals and those who are also strong on ethics and have high integrity, and to keep them in our business so that we can continue to offer the best services to our clients.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really very heartwarming to hear. And from what you said again, I think of the adage, charity begins at home. Yeah. And talking about home, we think of households, we think of children, we think of parents. Yeah. As a parent yourself, you know, and obviously a member of your own household, what is it that you would say, or how would you advise households and parents? What is it that UBA Capital has? Because you have a variety, obviously, of things. What would you advise households? And when I say household, I'm actually now saying mothers, because women are quite savvy when it comes to picking the right place to pitch their tent when we're talking about investments, or we're talking about what to put your money on, as it were?
Women need to plan for the future. We need to plan for the future education of our children. We need to plan for the post-retirement period when we will no longer be in active employment and may not be able to earn active income to meet the needs of our households. We need to make excellent plans for unforeseen circumstances which can happen to anybody. So a woman should, from as early as possible, encourage her partner, and together they should work to put aside from their current earnings funds that will be invested for the future needs of the family, no matter how pressing today's needs are. Something must be being put aside. It's called delayed gratification. You must be able to put something aside from your earnings today to plan and to invest for the future. And in our different areas of our business, between our asset management business and our wealth management business and the trust business, we have professionals that are able to sit with you and plan to build wealth for you, plan to manage your investments for you, and also help you with an estate plan that takes care of the eventual disposition of those assets. I need to mention that knowledge is critical. Knowledge is everything. Again, I will say the difference between you and the next man is what you know that he doesn't know. You may not know everything, but you do know something. You do know something, and you should know who to go to on the topic that you don't know everything about. So I say that UBA Capital is the company to go to when you are looking for how to plan for the future. Everybody needs more capital. Everybody needs more funds. Everybody needs to plan for the future. Everybody with a child needs to have a college fund. Everybody needs a contingency fund for, ideally you should have a contingency fund that can hold you and keep you and your family for at least 6 months in case you lose your job. Everybody needs a retirement plan. Now, these are all services that UBA Capital within our component businesses are able to provide to the individual.
Thank you so much. We're going to go on a very short break.
They always call me the weaker sex, and they treat me like unbreakable. I've proven myself throughout the centuries that I give life, strength and hope. I am a woman. In times of war, they've used my body, desecrated everything I am. They try to make me believe I'm not my own, but I choose to live life with strength and hope. I am a woman. I am a woman. You see over here, the ones I love, I'd give up anything to see them fly. I've sacrificed everything I could, 'cause they give me life, strength and hope. I
today our theme is access to finance available to all in emerging markets? And today our guest is the one and only Mrs. Oluwatoyin-Sani, the Group Chief Executive Officer of UBA Capital PLC. And always I love to just refer to her as beauty and brains. If you've been watching from the beginning, you'll know why I describe her in such a way. You're welcome back, Mrs. Sani.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Princess.
Now I want to talk about the kind of investment opportunities that could be available in Nigeria and West Africa, of course, because your bank straddles across, the African continent. But those opportunities for individuals or corporate investors, because as we said earlier, our planes going to Nigeria are full of foreigners, so there must be diamond somewhere there.
Absolutely. Okay, there are extensive investment opportunities in Nigeria and indeed across sub-Saharan Africa. I would like to start with agriculture. Over a decade ago, a company called Olam started investing in agriculture in Nigeria, and from a very humble beginning, today the same country is investing in 25 African countries. Today the same company is providing finance for African farmers, providing seed, providing produce from the farms to the farmers on credit, and then allowing the farmers over time to pay back.
What's the incentive?
The incentive is to sell the produce, is to move the produce, is to have a ready
And
market.
it's a game of numbers, as
Yes,
you said
and
earlier.
yes, and I believe that they also have a passion for feeding Africans. The point is that if you do good in the right place and under the right circumstances, you will also do well. So increasingly,
I like that. Could you say that again?
if you do good in the right place and under the right circumstances, you will also do well. So companies can do well while doing good. So back to the investment opportunities in Africa, there is agriculture. Again, when you have the world's largest arable land, when you have massive young population, so ready labor and cheap labor, which is the truth, very affordable, and you've got a huge population to feed. You've also got demand for African products, so you can also produce for export. In Nigeria, for example, you've got a very, very friendly regulatory framework for cocoa producers, for people exporting, produce. Unlike some jurisdictions where, there are restrictions, where, the government also has a stake in the, business. So when you put all that together, it's a wonder why more Africans, more Nigerians are not investing in agriculture. So agriculture is an area of huge opportunity. Oil and gas clearly is an area of huge opportunity. There are so many minerals, solid minerals, in sub-Saharan Africa and in Nigeria. There is investment opportunity even in the financial sector. The Nigerian capital market, the stocks that have traditionally performed the best, and a lot of them are in the financial sector. We also have opportunities in the construction industry. Naturally, because of the level of development where we are, clearly there is still a need for massive investments in construction. And that's why Dangote Cement can, skyrocket and become so big. And now, in a short time, because they're investing heavily in this construction industry across Africa. And of course, that Dangote is now the richest African. And a lot of that wealth is from investing in construction, in commodities, in produce. So then we go to the newly privatized sectors of power, for example. We are still hopeful that ultimately the refineries will also be, privatized. So, and then let's go to utilities, which again, in line with development initiatives across the world, do need to be privatized. Look at the massive boom that came from the telecoms, from the privatization of the GSM industry. And we still don't have enough. So, I don't think it can be, it is undisputable that there are huge investment opportunities in Nigeria and in Africa. It can't be disputed. It's indisputable.
Thank you so much. But one thing I didn't hear you mention is the entertainment business, probably because that's my industry. The entertainment business.
Amazing.
Because here and in the US, entertainment business holds a huge chunk.
Fantastic.
Of the economy.
To be honest with you, I think I was just starting. Because clearly, and you see, especially when you're talking about individuals, you now talk about businesses where an individual can have a stake based on their talents and their abilities without necessarily needing some massive amount of capital. So definitely entertainment, because of factors like the population, because of the age of the population, clearly the opportunities in entertainment are endless. And that's why, a sector like Nollywood, which is now the second largest after Hollywood industry in the world, in the acting field, film industry. You can imagine from not having a showing at all in Nigeria's GDP has suddenly become a significant contributor to the GDP of Nigeria. Absolutely. So these are industries that are, and by the way, I still think the potentials are significantly untapped. You see what has happened with the Nigerian music industry. Oh, wow. You see how that industry has dominated music across Africa and across the globe. So, I have my children schooling in the UK, and they tell me that their Chinese friends, their Indian friends, everybody listens to Nigerian music. Everybody dances to Nigerian music. So when you look at all those areas, indeed, like you said, the opportunities are massive. Do you want to go to the hotel industry? Hospitality. Restaurants, catering. Fashion, makeup. I mean, you can go on and on. My makeup artist was sharing with me how much she makes doing Nigerian weddings. Absolutely, they occur regularly, and they occur on a very grand scale. So clearly, if you've got talent, you've got ideas, head for Africa.
How come there's a dampener on how people are? You see poverty around you. It sort of stares you in the face. What came about that dichotomy? Why is it that way?
I mean,
there's a huge, massive gap between the haves
and the have-nots, and that is the truth. It's a sad reality, and you see, it's kind of like a vicious cycle. So sometimes you wonder which one came first, the chicken or the egg, because as long as there are these significant gaps, it will breed some of the social problems that we have, like the security problems that we have. And unfortunately, those problems themselves aggravate this gap. Because, for example, if you look at the security issues we've had in the Northeast, as a result of those concerns, a lot of businesses have fled the area. Now, a lot of businesses have fled the area, government presence has fled the area. So what you find private sector has fled the area. So what happens is that the gap widens. And as the gap widens, the social issues deepen. So clearly it is incumbent upon our leadership to put in place a well-articulated and consistently followed process by which we can narrow the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Because as long as that gap continues to widen, nobody's safe. That is the truth.
That is the truth. That is definitely the cosmic truth.
Yeah.
You are obviously from the corporate world.
Yeah.
When we look at leadership,
Yeah.
we can't just say politicians alone,
Yeah.
because leadership consists of people
Yeah.
from the political angle,
Yeah.
the corporate world,
Yeah.
and also the faith sector.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To me, I
Yeah.
believe the three
Yeah.
make up leadership.
Yeah.
And then when we say leadership, who are leadership? People like you and
Yeah.
I. So
Absolutely.
it's not as if there's some
Yeah.
alien from somewhere that
Yeah.
has this wand and is trying to, lead or go
Yeah.
to the country
Yeah.
this way or that way.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you now as a woman,
Yeah.
Also a woman who was once a girl child herself,
Yeah.
a mother of daughters,
Yeah.
a wife of a man,
Yeah.
a sister of siblings.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a woman who's a career woman, who's also a Nigerian.
Yeah.
Do you have any, even if it's just one little thing that you believe in your heart,
Mm-hmm.
because who knows who's listening and take it on board,
Mm-hmm.
that could help to correct these anomalies?
Mm-hmm.
We know it cannot happen overnight,
Yeah.
but maybe if they take on board some of the little nuggets you have to share,
Yeah.
we can start moving towards
Yeah.
a better Nigeria for
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Well, I am passionate about literacy and education, and specifically about child education. I believe that the girl child is the mother of tomorrow, and the mother in society is actually the builder and the anchor of society. If you educate a woman, you educate a family, you educate an
Community.
entire village, you educate an entire community. If you empower a woman, you empower an entire community.
I love you already. Wow.
Thank you. So it is sad that, there are retrogressive elements in society
yes.
that are attacking the
Progress.
hope of our future, which is the education of the girl child. And I do appeal to everyone who is a part of this or is supporting or for any strange reason sympathizing with these elements to please think of the future of our people, the future of generations to come, because what we do with and to the girl of today is what we're doing to the Nigerian of tomorrow, including our children and their children after them. I think to attack these issues, we need to also address the issue of financial inclusion. I am very passionate about financial literacy. I'm very passionate about products like collective investment schemes that can enable people, even at the lowest level of society, to participate in financial opportunities. And UBA Capital, through our asset management business, has collective investment schemes that we drive to encourage small participants, people at the lowest level, to be able to also build wealth for themselves by investing.
Be stakeholders.
Yes, and be stakeholders in our financial destiny. Beyond that is that we support initiatives that aid financial literacy at all levels, at secondary school levels, at tertiary education levels. We also, I am personally very passionate about products that will help to bring everybody into the investment cycle. So I sit on the committee, on the non-interest financial capital markets product committee. What we're doing is to support ethical funds, to support Islamic products that will encourage, because there are people that, because of their faith, will never invest. They will not put their money in the bank because they will say that, look, this pays interest, and because it pays interest, my faith, forbids. Now, the more money you have outside the financial system, the more you are exposing us even to security risks. The more money you have outside the system, the more people are excluded from the financial system. So we must continue to develop products that will include and encourage everybody to participate.
To wrap up, I'm just going to ask you now to speak. There must be somebody out there that needs to hear your views on this. Is access to finance available to all in emerging markets?
Yes, access to finance is available in emerging markets. Clearly, you need to have well articulated and bankable, as it were, projects, but you also have access to financial advisors like us who can listen to you and help you tidy up your project ideas and point you in the right direction with respect to how or where you can raise funding on the best terms, on the most acceptable terms for the projects that you have at hand. An idea is not a project. There is a lot of work that needs to be done to bring an idea to the level of a project. That is where, working with the right advisors, becomes very important and comes in handy. I wish you every success with all your ideas and your project initiatives. We're open for business, and we'll be happy to support in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sani, for coming to share with us and for the wealth of knowledge that you've opened up to help us tap into and point us in the right direction.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Wishing you a safe journey back home, and also on whatever travels you're going to embark on before your final destination. And definitely warm regards to your husband and the family.
Thank you.
We have been speaking with Mrs. Adedoyin-Solarin, the Group Chief Executive of UBA Capital PLC. She's a lawyer, she's a chartered secretary, she's also qualified in stock exchange. She wears several caps. For me, I just want to describe her as a woman who has beauty and brains. And today she's been deliberating with us on our theme. Every week we have a theme, and this week is access to finance available to all in emerging markets. I hope everybody who has tuned in to watch with us has been able to tap into all the golden nuggets that she has shared, and that somehow, someday, you'll be encouraged to say, yes, Nigeria is indeed the destination to be. We'd like to say a big thank you to our dream team, to the entire management and staff of Ben Television, to Sam, and to our dear friend who has also been here to work with us. But most importantly, to God Almighty, who makes all things beautiful in His own time. Till same time, same place, continue to arise as agents of positive change. Take care of yourselves and each other.